Welcome, my fellow math addicts. This is Mrs. Brooks. And today we're going to learn a 5th grade skill, which can also be seen as a 4th grade skill, which is 2 by 2 multiplication.
2 by 2 multiplication. 2 by 2 multiplication.
Hi. If you're watching this video, you know that we're going to be learning about 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication. You may already be familiar with it, or you may be new to it, or you may just need to brush up your skills on 2 by 2 multiplication. Either way, we're going to work on it together. So let's jump right into it. So our first problem we're going to get is going to be 54 times 16. So what I like to always do is to ask yourself, and it's very important to talk to yourself in math, what is my spotlight number? Now, it's no way that you can find who is your spotlight number without knowing place value. Place value is extremely important in math. So it's important to always start in your ones place. So where is the ones place first? So we're going to look at all the numbers to determine what is the ones place. So we know here that our 4 and our 6 is in the ones place, and our 5 and our 1 is in the tens place. So when you're multiplying, it's very important to know that you are multiplying your bottom numbers by your top numbers. Now, once I go ahead and do the example, you will understand it a lot more. So the first step is to circle your spotlight number. Your spotlight number will always be your bottom number in the ones place. That is what you start with. So first, you will multiply your spotlight number by both of these numbers at the top. Circling it makes it extremely easy to focus on. So now we're going to get started. So 6 times 4 is going to be 24. So you are going to then regroup your 2, and then you're going to put your 4 in the ones place. It is important that you know how to regroup, because if you don't, it will make your question or your answer, I would say, or your product, to use the proper vocabulary, incorrect. So we will then move on to 6 times 5. So after you multiply 6 times 5, which we know is going to be 30, you have to add what you regrouped. So 30 plus 2 is going to give us 32. So now we're all done with our ones. So in order for us not to forget what we're doing, it's important to scratch out or X out your 6, because we're done with that spotlight number, and it's now time for my 1 that's in the tens place to shine. Before you move on to that shining star number 1 that's in the tens place, it's important to put a 0 here inside of your ones place, because we're now done with it. So it shows that we're done with the ones place and we're moving on to the tens. So it's also important too that you can X out your number 2 that was at the top that you regrouped, or you can simply erase it so you don't get confused in the future. So now we're going to move on to our next spotlight number that's in the tens place, which is going to be 1 times 4. So you're going to use this one exactly how we used the 6. You're going to multiply 1 by both of the numbers at the top. So we have 1 times 4, it's going to give us 4. And then you go ahead to 1 times 5, which gives us 5. So now you're done with all the hard part, and it's time to add. So you would just add 4 plus 0 gives you 4. 4 plus 2, or 2 plus 4, however you want to look at it, gives you 6. And then you would do 3 plus 5 gives you 8. Now that was very easy. Now we're going to try another example. So we're going to try 23 times 45. So in this problem, it's very important to figure out who is your spotlight number. Your spotlight number is always going to be in your ones place at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and circle it. And you're going to use that spotlight number to multiply all the numbers that's at the top. So first you would do 5 times 3, and we know 5 times 3 is going to give us 15. But you have to regroup your 1 and put your 5 in the ones place. Your next move would be 2 times 5. So we know 2 times 5 equals 10, but we have to add the number that we regrouped. So it'll be 10 plus 1, which would give us 11. So now we are completely done with our ones place. So now we can go ahead and X out our 5 because it's no longer in the spotlight. Now it's time for my 4 to shine. So now when you're done with your numbers that's in the ones place, it's important to put a 0 here because we're moving on to the tens. So next we're going to do 4 times 3. Now, we don't want to get confused, so I always like for you to just erase or cross out your number that you used the previous time to regroup. So you can do 3 times 4, we know it's 12. So you're going to end up regrouping your 1 and putting your 2 here. After you go ahead and do that, you're going to move on to your next number, which will be your 2. So then you will do 4 times 2, which gives you 8. And of course, you must add the number that you regrouped. So 4 plus 2 gives you 8, plus 1 gives you 9. And then you're going to add everything up. So then you would have 5 plus 0 gives you 5, 2 plus 1 gives you 3, and 9 plus 1 gives you 10. Now, we have a number in the thousands place, and it's very important to make sure that we add our commas in the proper place. So you start from the ones and count 1, 2, 3, comma. So after every third digit, starting from the ones place, you would put a comma so it can represent the thousands place. That wasn't bad at all. Thanks for watching. Look forward for more math videos just like this one. Bye.